In this video, I want to talk to you about designing your outbound organic funnel. And the reason I want to talk to you about that is because this is what we do every day with our clients. And yet we come across really interesting expectations. For example, a client wants to use organic outbound to get hot pre-sold leads. So I wanted to go through this really foundational training so we can all understand what it is to build a funnel and how it is that you can create a process of generating hot pre-sold leads. So I'm going to go over some high-level strategies, and I'm not going to assume that you understand certain lingo and terms. So I'm going to dig in and just define a few things. So there are terms that you may have heard, such as your pipeline or your funnel. And this is the process that we take strangers out there in the world and we convert them into paying clients. Now, it's a funnel because of the shape. Okay, you see the diagram here. The volume of the surface area at the top is higher than at the bottom, and it reduces or refines as the leads drop out or fall out of the process, and they might become disqualified and as they progress towards deal stage. Now there's the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel. And in marketing language, this can be coined as like tofu, mofu, and bofu. And that's just shorthand, sometimes used in advertising language, for top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. Now you can talk about a pipeline, but a pipeline, as opposed to a funnel, tends to be more the long, slow, complex process of different deals at different stages of proposal maturity. So for most of us who are just selling, our services, we just want to think about a funnel rather than a deal pipeline, although both of those could be relevant to your business. Now, another way that people talk about a funnel is in terms of temperature. So we have cold leads, usually at the top of the funnel, like a cold stranger. Then in the middle of the funnel, we have warm leads. And then at the bottom of the funnel, we tend to have hot leads. And it's hot leads that we turn into clients. Like with a scientific transfer of energy, it requires effort to turn someone or something cold into something hot. You think of boiling your kettle, you need to put a lot of gas, a lot of fire underneath it in order to turn that water from cold to hot. So to change something's state from cold to hot, or someone from indifferent to excited, and excited to, say, part with their money or sign up to your process or invest in your solution, requires an insertion of energy. And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about designing your funnel. So essentially, a well-designed funnel and good content is exactly the type of heat required. It creates the agitation, the excitement, the movement that required in the right prospects so that they get to a point where they are grateful to pay you money for your product or service. So where there might be resistance or kind of reserve at the beginning or distrust, you want them to get to the point where they're throwing their money at you and saying, take my money, please help me. So we want to move people through the funnel. We want to insert enough heat into them and enough energy so that they get to that stage of excitement about buying. And you think about yourself when you are really excited to buy something. We talk about retail therapy, buying the right thing is actually something we are excited to do. And yet the sales process has this connotation of kind of fighting the system or trying to persuade someone to part with their money or invest in your process. In fact, if you do it well and you just agitate them with the right level of excitement, they are the ones that are going to be begging to work with you and wanting to spend their money. And this is the ideal situation that you want to get them into. So let's look at how leads come into the funnel. So leads come in different ways in different parts of the funnel. They can come in at the top, and that's cold. They can come in at the middle, and they can come in warm, and they can come in at the bottom, and they can come in really hot. Now, if you're used to receiving all of your leads via word of mouth and referral, you're used to receiving quite hot leads, quite pre-sold leads. And what I want us to understand is that those leads and the sales process is entirely different to bringing in cold leads at the top of the funnel or bringing in warm leads via SEO or inbound search, like reading your content. So understanding the different stages of the funnel, but also the different ways that leads come to you, and then the different temperature of those leads is really important to managing our expectations and also designing a really good funnel. As you can see, leads that come in the top would have a very different sales process than leads that come in the bottom. And leads that come in the bottom require so much less energy to convert. It's like they're just like they're ripe to pick. Whereas leads at the top require energy. They require to be cooked. They require to be heated in order to get to the point where they're just like falling off the tree. And of course, it's the dream of every business. Like every business I talk to would just like, I just want pre-sold leads. I just want hot sales qualified leads. I just want them to come to me ready to buy now. However, unless you have a really strong referral network or an affiliate program, so people are incentivized to send you pre-sold leads, you can rarely rely on word of mouth and referral to bring you all of your business. You have to design a funnel that's going to bring you leads at different stages. And particularly if you do something like cold outreach, you're going to have different expectations about the nature of those leads and where they fit in your funnel. So really designing a mix of methodologies for bringing in clients, some at the top, some in the middle, some at the bottom, is a way of having the healthiest funnel, the healthiest pipeline for your business. Now, it's worth pausing and talking about some more jargon that is used in marketing language. So there's something called a sales qualified lead, and you sometimes see it as an SQL. And there's also a marketing qualified lead, which is an MQL. Now, these are both leads and they're at slightly different stages of development. So a sales qualified lead is someone who is eligible for your service. They also have the money and they're ready to buy now. So as you can see, a sales qualified lead will be further down the funnel and they'll be hotter than a marketing qualified lead. Usually a sales qualified lead just needs to understand a few things, maybe a few particulars about your service. They probably just need to be explained your offer and then they can be closed. Like it can be as simple as that. However, a marketing qualified lead, which is more a lead up the top of your funnel, they are marketing qualified as in they've responded to your marketing, they've responded to your outreach message. So something you've done has engaged their attention. Maybe they've clicked on an ad or they responded to your LinkedIn message. They come into your funnel and maybe at that point they get subscribed to your mailing list or they do a free trial or they attend a webinar or an event. They might get a book or something of yours. We want them to fit the criteria of your ideal client, but we don't know whether they're ready to buy now. All we know is that they are interested to find out more. We know that they're probably willing to talk to you and they've got some questions, but we don't know that they're ready to buy now. So the differentiator here is that we've got the tofu, the top of the funnel, and then we've got the bofu, the bottom of the funnel. And we want to move the marketing qualified lead down to become a sales qualified lead who has the money to buy in now, is ready to buy now, has the urgent problem or pain, and will invest in your solution if you explain it clearly and if they understand that you're better than their competitors. Every business wants sales qualified leads. So how do we take a marketing qualified lead, someone we might reach out to cold, and turn them into a sales qualified lead? Now, usually it's because they need more energy, more heat, right? They need to be exposed to more of your marketing materials and sales content to be properly persuaded. Our goal when we are building an outbound funnel is to take a cold stranger, someone out in the world. We want to identify them as a marketing qualified lead, so get them to resonate with our outreach message. We want to get them in the top of the funnel, and then we want to move them down the funnel so that they engage with enough of our sales content to become warm and then eventually to become hot. We want to turn them into a sales qualified lead, and then of course we want to close them into business, and we want to do that with as many possible leads as we can. Now, again, I always talk to business owners who they just want hot leads and they just want sold leads and they just want sold leads now. I would warn you to be really careful of agencies that do cold outreach and they promise you hot leads. Unless they have a library of information and resources available to educate, pre-sell, nurture, and warm up your leads in a way that's very specific to your offer, then it's some rare voodoo, or they're just lying that they can bring you pre-sold leads from cold outreach. So be very careful of that promise. So ultimately, our job is together to design the best possible funnel and to inject the maximum amount of energy into cold leads and turn them into hot leads. And we want to do it in the shortest amount of time possible. Okay, so when we're designing a typical funnel, we want to look at the whole world out there, so all of the billions of people in the world, and we want to research those people and find the ones that fit the basic criteria of our ideal clients. So we can research people who have the right job, who live in the right location, who work in the right industry, who have the right size of company, the right age of company, the right revenue in their company. So we can research the world, and then what we want to do is outreach to them with a marketing message. And we want to design the right message so that we have the best chance of resonating with those leads and then bring them into the funnel. And we want to do such a good job that we have the best possible chance of those leads then making it all the way to the bottom of the funnel and turning into a paying client. Now, if we identify the wrong leads, they're going to at some point exit the funnel. So they're going to say, oh, this offer isn't relevant to me. Maybe the timing isn't right for me. Maybe the price is not right for me, or just there's another reason, and they're going to come into the funnel and then exit the funnel. Now, we don't want to waste their time and we don't want to waste our time. So this is why we design the funnel in the best way possible. So at the top of the funnel, this is where we research strangers who fit our ICP, so our ideal client profile. So we research them by size, revenue, geography, industry, job title. Then we broadcast a message to them and we offer them something free or a value so that they will enter our funnel. Now, we can do this via organic outreach, which is what we do. So LinkedIn and cold email. You can do it via paid ads. This is top of the funnel. Now, this type of lead at this point is cold and they are just curious. So they're curious about your free trial. They're curious about the training or the information or something that you've offered them. Maybe it's just a message or a chance to talk to you. They're just curious at this point. Then we move them down to the middle of the funnel. Now, these are people who have now subscribed to your mailing list. They followed you on social channels. They've read your book. They've attended your event. They watched your video. They've listened to a podcast. Now, people can come in at the middle of the funnel. They don't have to come in at the top of the funnel. Now, they can come in with an inbound inquiry. So they Google searched you or a solution or a problem, and they found you, usually via SEO and some kind of ranking that you've created online related to the content that you create. Or you could be in a directory, so a directory of experts, and they found you and they've reached out to you. And usually this is a warm lead, a middle of the funnel, because they're very specifically looking for something that you offer. Now, they could be just members of your LinkedIn network that you've met historically. They could be part of an online group or community. But usually they're warmer to you because you belong to the same network or you've been in touch with each other in the past. Now, if you are running paid ads, a middle of the funnel lead could be a visitor to your website who you then retarget via ads. So they're not cold. They've already checked you out and then you retarget them with an ad. And that's a great way of generating more leads via paid ads. Then at the bottom of the funnel, these are the hottest kind of leads. These are people that are referred by an existing client, and they're hot because they get a strong recommendation from someone they like and trust. Plus, they're probably already looking for a solution, and so they come pretty much pre-sold. Now, if people know your name or your reputation, they're going to look you up. Just having your name out there online means people can Google you. They can hear about you via reputation and then find you and then reach out to you, particularly if you're well-known in your industry. Really hot leads are your super fans, so that maybe they've watched all of your YouTube videos and read all of your published content. They know everything about your offer. They just need to be offered something, or the time just needs to be right. So they're just pretty hot. Or they're people that you've previously kind of pitched or tried to sell. They declined, but they're still interested. And so they know a lot about you. They probably just need the time to come around and then they're ready to be sold. So this is bottom of the funnel. Now, this video is talking to you about creating your organic outbound funnel using LinkedIn and cold email. However, for a lot of you out there, you're probably also running ads. So I want to talk about this in terms of ads as well. So top of the funnel ads would be to a cold audience, so people who haven't met you. So it might be an ad for an event, a webinar, maybe you're capturing data via lead form, maybe you're offering a book, like maybe a free book plus shipping offer, or a book that's free if they do something else. Could be just a free training or a VSL. Sometimes it's a quiz. So if we're broadcasting advertising to cold people, this is called tofu advertising, top of the funnel advertising. Now, MOFU ads is people who you can target via paid ads, but they're warmer. So this is where PPC or pay-per-click and keyword ads come in with Google search, because you can target people who are already searching for a keyword. So if you work in the roof and tiling industry, you can target people who are searching for a tiler near me or a roofing expert in my city. So they're looking for you, and then you can look for them with paid ads. The other type of MOFU ads is retargeting, and I talked about that earlier. So you can track if people visit your website, if they follow you on social media. You can retarget people who've subscribed to your mailing list, all kinds of actions. You can take the data and then retarget them, and they're already warm, and so they're much more likely to engage with, the second round of advertising. And then bottom of the funnel ads, again, is pay-per-click, but it's more specific to your name. So if they're Googling your name or your brand, that's bottom of the funnel, or maybe your CEO's name or someone in your company, very much related to your reputation ads or testimonial ads, things like that. Or it could be people who've attended quite an intimate event, maybe like a presentation or seminar or webinar. If you know very specifically, you can just target them with highly personalized advertising. So that's tofu, mofu, and bofu advertising. So ultimately, at this point, whether we're doing organic advertising or we're doing paid advertising, what I just want us to pause and take away is that at the top of the funnel, we want to create the best messaging we can to resonate with cold strangers and bring them into our. And then at every stage of the funnel, whether they're coming in warm or they're coming in hot, or they've come in the top and they're moving down warm to hot, we also want to have the best messaging to help address any of their questions or queries and help qualify them. We want to also design the maximum amount of value to capture them in our funnel, and then to keep them engaged so that they can really get a sense of our offering and service. Value is also a way of inserting heat, right? It's this kind of agitation and kind of warming them up and moving them down the funnel from a cold lead who might say, this is not really good timing, it's a bit expensive, to someone who's like, I need this now, I'm very excited, I will get the money somehow, I will make this happen because I'm so excited, to move ahead with this. That's where you want to get someone to the absolute warmth and point of excitement. And that's what a good funnel can achieve for you. So I want us to take a high level view of our funnel and remember a few points as we go forward. Firstly, results vary. Secondly, you need to take a holistic approach. And thirdly, time is a factor. So if we look at them all one by one, results vary. So cold outbound can bring people into our funnel, but it really depends on your offer. And it depends on your market as to the time it takes them to go from cold lead to hot lead to become that hot, pre-sold, ready to buy now lead. It's also worth noting that if you are doing a lot of cold outreach and you're getting nothing, no replies, no engagements, you really need to test some assumptions that you have about who are you targeting, what are you saying to them, and whether your product or your offer is even fitting the market. You may not need to work on lead generation right now. You might need to go away and work on your offer, then take it back to market, and then do lead generation and sales. On point number 2, we need to take a holistic approach. As you can see, cold outbound is just one way of many ways of getting leads into your funnel. So you can see things like paid ads, SEO, referral, word of mouth, networking, events, podcasts, ranked reviews. These are all ways of bringing in leads, just at different stages and different points of maturity. If you have an online community, and that could be anything from a Facebook group to a Discord channel to a WhatsApp group to any other kind of online community, this is a brilliant way of nurturing leads and bringing them in cold into something where they can become a hot lead, because you can have lots of content, you can share lots of interactions with them, they can get to know you, and they can begin to learn about the value of your offer. So this is another reason why a holistic approach to your growth strategy is really important. And you want to make sure the lead that interacts with you has a very clear sales journey. They can follow you on social media. They can read your content. When they look at your website, it's a consistent brand story to your content, to other things. When they look at your case studies and your testimonials, there's a consistent message. That everything is optimized optimize to nurture and develop those leads to become a sales qualified lead, hot and ready to buy now. The third point is that time is a factor. So from cold to warm to hot requires energy and input from you and from us. The prospect just needs it. They need education. They need a free trial to taste it and feel it. They need sales content in the form of, maybe a sales letter or a sales webinar. They need case studies. They need testimonials. They need value content. They need a community. And most importantly, they need clarity. So if you can show how your solution creates a predictable outcome within a predictable time frame to the right prospect in a way that makes financial sense, then your qualified prospects are more likely to resonate with the right frequency, get agitated, get heated up, and then convert into paying clients. So as a result, this whole training is about designing your outbound funnel. And we want to go out and take cold leads. We want to make sure that they fit your ideal client profile. And then we want to quickly move them through your funnel to become a hot paying client that is grateful to part with their money and sign up to your services. If there's elements of the sales cycle that are slow or arduous for them, if they already have a solution in place, even if they're unhappy or it's expensive or difficult to shift, if they have an annual budget cycle or if they've got multiple stakeholders to persuade on any decision, then it's going to complicate and slow down the sales process. And even if they're really hot and agitated and excited, there are other things at play as to why they may not sign up. So it's our job to understand all of these things. What are the levers? What are the triggers? What are the other elements in the mix to help them make that decision that is required to move them forward? Everything is doable as long as there's enough impetus and motivation, and as long as we understand them and their contacts as much as possible. So the next step of designing our outbound funnel is to offer value up front. So when we're going out and we're connecting with cold leads, I see this all the time with our clients, is that they want to go for the pitch. They want to just offer their service. And this is part of the expectation of just wanting a hot pre-sold lead. They just want to pitch them and close them into deals. And this is just not constructive, particularly top of the funnel. They don't know. The lead does not know much about the offer. And also, we don't know if they are a good fit yet. We're just going out to get a marketing qualified lead, to just get them to resonate with our message. Now, if we just go out and just pitch people our services, this is where you get the feeling of being spammed. This is where sales gets a bad reputation and creating resentment or forcing people or invading people's space. So it just comes down to understanding the funnel. At the top of the funnel, we don't pitch. We don't sell directly. Also, try and avoid speaking in technical jargon. Now, this is a classic mistake that a lot of experts make, because you're used to talking to your colleagues and you're used to talking to your clients and you're used to kind of being highly intelligent about these technical terms, and it's kind of an insider language. When you go to the outside world and you talk to strangers, you stay in that kind of acronym or kind of insider language, and it can kind of just create a bit of a blank wall. We want to break down our language into simpler terms of a problem a business might have and a solution that they might have, and just avoid all the technical language altogether. Because once we've established that kind of emotional resonance around a problem or a solution, then we can dig into what the solution looks like. So at this point, we just want to offer them value. And by that, this is what I mean by a free trial or some kind of training or some education. And we want our message to resonate with the outcomes that they want. So, and when I'm talking outcomes, I'm talking big outcomes. So they want to grow their business. So they want to, increase the number of headcount in their company? Do they want to reduce the level of taxation in the company? What is the big level outcome? Let's not talk in terms of acronyms and details right now. Let's just talk about the problem that they're facing and the outcomes that they want. Let's just get that basic resonance. Let's just offer them something of value, maybe some kind of free advice or free guide. Just get them into the funnel. And as we can take them through the funnel, we can get to them to a point where then we can pitch them. We can just make them an offer. But at that time, the offer will make sense and they will be excited and grateful to receive the offer. So we just want to do things in the right order, basically. So what might this look like in a given funnel? So for example, at the top of the funnel, we might filter leads that we've researched by external criteria. So We've researched people by their job, by their company size, by the geography. And then we want to offer them value that resonates with some of their psychographic states. So something that's going to talk to their internal world. So the thing that their problem, the thing that they're challenged with, and the outcome that they desire. So for example, we might know that companies between 50 to 500 staff in the US need help securing business loans. Okay, we know that this is a problem. So if we then offer a free loan calculator and we offer them the loan calculator at different market interest rates, and we go out to the market and we talk to businesses between 50 to 500 staff in the US, and they say, yes, I'd love to use your free loan calculator and understand the market interest rates, then now we're beginning to understand that marketing qualified lead, right? We've offered them something of value, they say yes, and now we have a smaller group of people in our funnel. Once they're in our funnel, we're able to nurture that relationship to the point where they're really heated up, but we also understand a lot more about them and we're able to offer them our service. The reason we do this is if a lead wants that free taster or trial, as simple as it is, then it's usually an indication of them being positioned to go all the way through the funnel to become a paying client. Because if they want the free stuff, it's likely they're going to need the paid version eventually, as long as it meets their needs and as long as there are no other blockages or conditions or delays that are holding them back. So top of the funnel value is things like free trials of software or the gym, attending a webinar where they can learn a bunch of stuff similar to an event, reading your white paper or reading your case study, or undergoing like a free audit or a free analysis or a free estimation where they can really learn something quite personalized about themselves or their business. And that just brings them into the funnel. And then you also get to learn that this is an ideal lead and I can actually focus on this one and nurture them to the point of sale. So the challenge for us at this point of designing your outbound funnel is to think of what is the piece of value that we can offer out to the market that's going to just bring them into the funnel without pitching them, without selling them. What's that piece that's going to kind of help them to identify as a marketing qualified lead? Now, the second reason we do this is because we create reciprocity. So by doing just something of good gesture, hey, here's a free loan calculator, here's some free training, we get them to at least give us their time and attention. So it gives a reciprocity from the foundation of which we can build a relationship. Sometimes all we need is their email address or phone number, or we need 10 minutes of their time. We can't ask that without offering them something. So we go to the market, we offer them something, and then we make the ask, but the ask is very small at this point. Give me your attention, give me your time, give me a piece of your kind of contact details so we can stay in touch. And from there, you can then begin to kind of educate and nurture and essentially sell them. Now, the last piece around this of creating value at the top of the funnel is we want to educate them. Now, people are seeking advice and they're seeking knowledge and they're seeking insight. But in doing that, we can sell them into our service, because by providing value in the form of knowledge or training or advice or insight, it won't be enough to solve their problem entirely, but it will be enough to help them see that this is the solution for them. And you think of the classic of the expert who publishes their book. Obviously, all of their knowledge is available in the book, but still, we can't solve our life problems by just reading books. We then need to work with a coach or an expert to apply that. And so that is why experts constantly draw to them clients through books and webinars and information. It's a bit like in the supermarket. You might try the little piece of salami or cheese on a toothpick because, it's offered to you for free, but if you like it, you might then go back and buy the whole packet. Sometimes people just need a free trial, but also they need to experience the value firsthand. So gyms and software subscriptions do this all the time. They give you a 1-month trial or a 2-week trial so you can actually feel the value. And then, of course, you're going to justify the expense. You're going to go away and make sure that it happens, but you're allowed to feel it first. And the other thing with sharing your knowledge is that a webinar, an event, or a roundtable, or sharing your book or a white paper or a case study, what it can do is it can go and address a lot of the questions and the mental blocks that are around that the clients have if they have confusions that are holding them back from investing in the solution. So attending a free webinar, an event, or roundtable, or reading your book or reading your white paper or a case study, what it's going to do is it's going to iron out any questions or confusions or blockages that they have to signing up to your solution ultimately. So if you fear giving away your knowledge for free, just remember this: knowledge is readily available. If all we needed was knowledge, then we would all be rich and skinny and fulfilled, because all of the information about making money, losing weight, being fit, and finding personal fulfillment is available in the world, in books, online, places like that. The reality is we don't just need knowledge. What we need is the application of knowledge, and we need people to help us navigate that. We need coaches to help us get fit and monitor our nutrition. We need coaches to help us work through kind of our mental complexity to find fulfillment. And we need people who've gone through the business cycle and built wealth and built investments, kind of guide us through, because the knowledge alone is not enough. So don't fear giving your knowledge away. In fact, see it as a mechanism to get people into your funnel and then warmed up down through your funnel to the point of agitation and sale. So ultimately, this video has outlined how we can create an organic outbound funnel. And I focus on organic outbound because we do LinkedIn and cold email all the time. So we can research your client, we can research your ideal client persona, your ICP, based on the various criteria of size of company, job title, industry, vertical, geography, revenue band, different staff, staff sizes, even within departments and things. And we can engage them with a resonating message. But what we want to do is design the maximum amount of value that you can offer up front so that you get them in the funnel, and then continue to inject as much energy and heat as possible to get them down the funnel to the point of them being a hot pre-sold lead that is ready to buy now, and not just ready to buy, grateful to buy and excited to buy. Now, if you already have a bunch of warm leads, so for example, you have a large first degree LinkedIn network, you have a huge CRM, you have a huge email list, or you've got leads gained in the past from events, webinars, paid ads, then organically you can also retarget them using LinkedIn. So for example, if you run 10K of ads or more every single month, if you capture name and email address, we can retarget them organically using LinkedIn. This is a perfect example of middle of the funnel, MOFU and BOFU at work, retargeting your leads and getting them to the bottom of the funnel as quickly as possible. So instead of just focusing on top of the funnel, we can follow up leads in your pipeline, those ones at various stages of maturity and development. We can offer them a new training, a new piece of content, a new taster trial, and we could further move them down the funnel. Ultimately, together, we are working on creating the best possible process to move leads quickly through your funnel to the point of sale. So finally, to sum it all up, we want to focus on taking your leads and injecting into them the maximum amount of energy required in the form of value, education, training, free trials, valuable content. And we want to persuade them and nurture them to the bottom of your funnel so that they are a hot, resonating lead ready to buy now. We want to get them to the point where they are so excited to exchange money for the solution that they are now sure will happen by investing in your program. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what kind of content will sell your leads and will inject the most amount of energy into your lead, then I recommend you watch a separate training I've created called Content That Sells. But this brings me to the end of this training. If you'd like to work together on building your cold outbound funnel, whether that's by getting leads into the top of your funnel and bringing them through your funnel, or whether it's retargeting leads so that they're coming in middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel, then just comment below. Let's set up a conversation and we can talk about how you can be selling more clients using LinkedIn and cold email. All right, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in a future video.